Now, if someone said to me butterfly, the first thing I would think about is a monarch butterfly. The big, beautiful, bold, orange and black beauty. It is our most common butterfly, big butterfly, I do believe. Although I wouldn't call it common, I would call it iconic. And sadly, the monarch population is declining. And I don't know the whole ins and outs, and I don't think just in New Zealand. I've seen reports overseas as well. But here in New Zealand, there is recent reports indicated concerning decline in our country of the monarch butterfly population. Traditionally, these butterflies gather in large numbers at overwintering sites across the country. However, observations suggest a significant decrease in their numbers at these locations. So what is going on? Jacqui Knight is the founding trustee of the Moths and Butterflies of New Zealand Trust, and she joins me now. Jacqui, good afternoon.
Nice to be with you, Leah.
Jacqui, can I start? What got you interested in something like this, in moths and butterflies?
Well, I'm 76 years old, and when I was young, my parents introduced me to nature, and we had a swan plant and watched the caterpillars do their thing. And so I did the same for my own two sons when they were little. And I just love nature. You know, we've got the most amazing flora and fauna in New Zealand, and it's really beautiful. I'm actually phoning you from a little place called Ranfurly in central Otago.
Gorgeous.
I've driven from
Love
Queenstown
Ranfurly.
today, and country's so beautiful. But
Isn't it?
Yeah, I'm getting off the topic, aren't I?
No. Jacqui, you're a woman after my own heart. This is what I do in my show every day. I just wander off into the paddock. Can you tell us then, because this concerns me. I love monarchs. I mean, I'm sure people listening, even if we don't know much about them, we love them as well in the garden. We love to see them.
Sure.
Can you tell us some of the factors that you see or you know are contributing to the decline of the butterfly, of these monarchs?
Well, we don't know what it is exactly. Now, firstly, there are going to be some people out there saying, oh, I have raised 20 or 30 or 50 or 100 this season.
Yeah.
And this is because humans get involved and they rescue the little caterpillars or the eggs and they take them indoors where they're free from predators and then they let them go. So that is going on, but I'm talking, and I do that in my own garden as well. I have a butterfly house. But when you drive around, you're not seeing butterflies anymore. You're not seeing. That's what concerns me. I mean, I haven't hardly got a squashed bug on my windscreen as I drive from Queenstown to Ranfurly today. Whereas, when we were kids, there were hundreds of bugs on your windscreen.
Yeah.
So what we're doing.
Yeah, tell us what you're doing. No, what I read about this, Jacqui, was there are some factors. I mean, changing in the weather, that's one of them. But the wasps are also.
The wasps.
Yeah.
The wasps. The introduced wasps. Some were introduced deliberately 100 years ago to control cabbage white butterflies, but instead they're killing all our beautiful endemic butterflies as well. And some have arrived in New Zealand unannounced. So there are other factors as well, and of course, people using pesticides. That's sometimes pesticide drifts over from your neighbour's place onto your place, and so all your bugs will die as well. Then overseas, there's of course the migration in North America is affected by genetically engineered crops, and so the farmers can spray all their crops and weeds with things like Roundup, and the corn survives, but the weeds all die. So that means that the butterflies on their migration don't have nectar, and they don't have places to lay their eggs. So there's a whole, and of course then there's climate change, the weather factors. I just hear these horrific stories from North America about what's happening to the migration with storms and then droughts, and everything's affected because the plants don't flower when they should to give nectar, or they don't have leaves when they should, so the monarchs can't lay eggs. So there's so many factors. Yes.
Okay, so what are we doing, Jacqui? What's the trustees
Well, one of the
decided to
things we
do?
want to do this year is find out more about the monarch butterfly in New Zealand. And to do that, we are going to be tagging monarch butterflies. You put a tiny little sticker about the size of my small fingernail.
How do you tag a butterfly?
Yeah, it's
Jeez.
quite easy. I mean, I did it myself in, I think it was
Oh,
2006. I think we did it for 9 years.
okay. How do you do it?
Well, you just take this little tag off a sheet, and you very carefully apply that to the wing of the monarch butterfly, and then you let the monarch butterfly go. And that tag has a very small font, a unique number. So hopefully what will happen is people will see that monarch butterfly in their own garden or resting in trees during the winter, and they will see the website, which is also on that tag, and report it into our website, and then we can figure out where these monarch butterflies are going to overwinter.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So, Jacqui, to make it clear, are you saying that are you hoping that people, if they do see a monarch and there's something on its wing, you want them to actually catch it or at least
some people take photos now. That's the beauty of having smartphones.
just take a
you
photo
can
of
quickly
it,
take a photo,
and then you can
blow
blow
up
up
the photo. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
And then go onto the website, and then that's you report kind of where you are in the country, and that gives you an idea.
Yeah. And what the weather's like, and then the scientists will correlate that information with weather patterns, and then generate data, which we hope will help not only our monarchs but our beautiful red admiral butterflies and yellow admirals and all these amazing moth species that we've got in New Zealand. Do you know that of the butterflies and moths in New Zealand, 93% of them are only found in New Zealand?
What? I did not know that. What?
No. And we have about 1,800 or something moth species. Most people say, oh, that's a moth. They've got no respect for moths.
Yeah.
But they're so amazing when you look at them. And, of course, we don't see a lot of them because we're usually in bed when the moths are about.
Yeah.
But they are
1800.
very important. They're pollinators, and they do a lot of good for our environment.
Well, Jacqui, it's quite pertinent I'm talking to you because last Easter afternoon, hubby and I was sitting in the spa, just, enjoying the bubbles. And it was quite windy in Auckland. And I looked up, and on the side of the spa was a moth. And it was, and I called it she. I just thought it was a girl. And it was white. It was quite nice looking, quite like a white.
Yes.
And I could tell every time she went to kind of like walk, well, the wind was so strong, she was getting blown around. I said to my husband, she's going to get blown in the water and then she'll die. And so he's like, and so
rescued her.
I rescued her, and I put her somewhere where it was less windy. But I must look funny because there I am in the back of the yard. I don't wear a lot in the back of the yard, Jacqui, because it's private, right? And there I am bending around trying to save this little moth. I hope she lived.
Oh, good on you.
Because I don't know what it was, but I said to my husband when I jumped back in the pool, he goes, "You're funny with insects. You always want to save them." And I said, "Well, she's beautiful, and she's about to blow into the
good
water."
On you there. Lovely.
Can you tell me, is there any specific regions that you know of in the country where we expect to see more monarch populations, or are they everywhere?
Well, an interesting phenomenon this summer is there's an amazing place out at Waimaku, where they have converted a disused plastic house, and got like a glass house, but they've taken the plastic off and they've covered it with insect-proof netting, and they've actually got an eco-climate in there now, and they've got all these beautiful monarch butterflies flying around, and people have been going out there and raving. You can find them on Facebook, Franklin Farm, and they have been. It's such a beautiful place for monarchs, and of course, there's no pests or predators, and so they've been releasing hundreds of monarch butterflies every day, or most days. Now, I am wondering, where are they going? Because that's quite interesting. You imagine that they're out at Waimaku. They fly away, so possibly they're in Riverhead, Kumeu, or Helensville, Parakai.
Yep.
So it'll be really interesting to notice if we can get them to tag monarch butterflies. We're going to learn a lot from them, and they're pretty willing, Franklin Farm, so that's cool.
Great.
Yeah, it's an amazing place, and we've learned so much about butterflies from what they're doing out there.